There is no doubt about it. The evidence is unassailable that we are in the middle of a crisis in public education in this country today. Last week, results came out about the PISA examination, which basically showed that China is first. The U.S. is not. In fact, we are at the bottom when you look at our kids' math results. And so
compared to OECD nations.
That's right. So compared to other developed nations. So we are not going to be competitive in the long run until we fix our public education system.
First person that was interested in having public education available to everyone was Thomas Jefferson. And so at the founding of the country, there was this idea that you couldn't have a free democratic society unless the populace was educated. And so that didn't mean everybody, by the way. That meant white males. And so Jefferson was unique in that he suggested that everyone should have, not Native Americans or African Americans, but that everyone other than those should have at least 3 years of education. And with 3 years of education, they would be able to make good judgments about who could be elected to run the country. So his idea then was that after 3 years, the people who were doing the teaching could, and this is a quote, pretty close to a quote, they could rake from the rubbish, meaning all the people that were being educated for 3 years, he considered them rubbish, and that teachers could rake from the rubbish a few talented, students that have merit, and they would move up and have a little bit more education, and then you'd rake from that, less rubbish, and you'd have finally the people who were educated at the highest levels. So this is kind of the beginning of public education, or thinking about public education. You can see it's not very democratic, and it's not very, it's not offering equality of opportunity and access. So Jefferson's plan wasn't put into motion, but eventually we had district schools and small schools and communities, and so it was really only one horse man started. He was the person in charge of education in Boston, and he promoted universal public schooling for everybody in the country.
My name is Anna Dempsey, and I'm the Community and Mentor Assistant here at Fern Creek Elementary. Our school is located in the heart of Colonial Town, right near downtown, off of Mills and Colonial. And our students are actually bused in, so they're not, some are from the neighborhood, but most of our students are bused in. So our students are bused in from Paramore. We have around 50% of our students bused in from Paramore, and also from the local homeless coalition right over on Central. All elementary school students who live at that shelter come to school here. Also, 20 to 25% of our population of students is considered homeless, meaning they are displaced. So they're living at a motel. There's a motel down the street that many of them live at called Home Sweet Home. We also have a few of them living in cars or living with friends or relatives. So our demographic is very interesting of where our kids live and who they're living with even too. We have kids who are in foster care or kids living with extended relatives as opposed to just your typical household. We also have kids who are homeless and living with mom and dad. So it's just a very different demographic of kids, of students.
You don't have schools funded out of the national wealth. And in most social democracies, in all the developed countries and the social democracies, education is funded out of the national wealth, not local wealth, or not the wealth of the family. And so in this country, increasingly, people can move into neighborhoods and counties or districts or whatever And because schools are funded by local property taxes, they can have a better public school in one part of town, and then across town in a low-income neighborhood, there'll be a school that's funded at lower per pupil spending rates. And so even in the same town, you'll have vastly different experiences. We all buy into the fact that if we work hard and we are educated, that we can have the expectation of success. But increasingly, of course, statistics show that only certain groups of people actually move up and have social mobility in this country. And so the widening, economic gap and educational gap and gaps in opportunity are very much linked to something that's kind of being understood in education or in the society, that education is more of a private good than it is a public good.
Every weekend, Fern Creek sends home a weekend snack pack with our students, and the food pantry is actually on campus, and we bag the food here throughout the week for when it goes home on Friday. We get the food from Second Harvest Food Bank. The foundation pays for that food to come here, and we also get donations from churches or just individuals or families that just want to bring in the items. So right now our student population is between, I think it's like 365, 385, somewhere in that amount, and 310 of our students right now get a bag of food every single Friday throughout the year. We also do it during the summer. So every Friday, our students at Fern Creek are going home with food. Now the point of the weekend snack pack is that we've noticed at Fern Creek that our students would come back to school on Monday morning just not as focused, and some of them were hungry. So we thought, what could we do as a foundation, as a school, to help alleviate that problem so our kids can learn and feel safe and ready to start their Monday morning and get back into academics. So we created the weekend snack pack programs. And so every single Friday they get in their snack packs, they get a protein, so something that they could also make on their own. So they could pop open this, macaroni, and they could heat it in the microwave or on the stovetop if they had that. Now if they didn't have that there, we also put applesauce or things like granola bars or helpful things like raisins, green beans, and we try to put things in there that are kid friendly but also that are nutritious for them. So every week in the snack pack looks different depending on what's donated or what we can buy. Like, so some weeks we have peanut butter and other weeks we don't. So it all just kind of varies. But our intention is so that kid goes home on the weekend, and just because mom and dad or their auntie or grandma or whoever isn't cooking them dinner, it doesn't mean that they're gonna be hungry. So a 5-year-old could sustain themselves on this, as could a 5th grader. And that's the whole point, is that it's going to feed just that child, not the family, not neighbors, it's just feeding that child. And so we really pride ourselves on being able to offer that to our students, and anyone can get a snack pack that wants to. We first put the kids on our list who are in free and reduced lunch at our school, so meaning maybe their parents are on food stamps or just finances, whatever that means to bump them onto that list, they automatically go onto our list. And then anyone who would like to opt in the program can. And if you want to opt out, they can too. It's completely up to the families what works best for them and what doesn't. So anyone can be on it and get that food and really no hoops to jump through, and it's totally free to them.
Especially like a day like today, where it was the first cold day, some kids came to school without jackets or without socks on, and so we're able to just quickly go in and it's not a big deal, here's a new jacket. Like, I had 2 kids go home with new jackets today because they didn't come to school with one. So especially since it's going to be colder tomorrow. So it's just really helpful, and it's like meeting their basic needs. So like, there's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the first one is like just providing for the basic foundations of life, like food and clothing and shelter. And so with the the clothing closet and the food pantry, we're meeting their basic needs that might not get met otherwise.
Most of our mentors, since we've been around since 1998, a lot of it's been kind of word of mouth and so on and so forth, but we actually partner with Travelers Insurance, and a lot of our mentors come from them. Rollins College is also where I get a ton of my mentors. Every single year, Rollins makes sure to really push Fern Creek since we have such a strong partnership, and I go over the first few weeks of school and I do a lot of mentor training. And then it's from all over. So I have mentors from UCF, I have mentors from the city of Orlando, Travelers Insurance, people from the neighborhood, even parents are mentors. So even though I'm the community and mentor assistant, I also am a mentor here. And it's amazing to be able to spend time with that child and with that student. I mean, I have students who literally count down the day till their mentor comes. Like a little boy stopped me in the hallway this morning and was like, Miss Dempsey, there's 2 more days till my mentor comes. And they're so excited because they know that when that person comes, they get that one-on-one attention and the person asks them about their day and how it's going. And then it makes that other person, the mentor, feel really great because you're investing in a child and that child is investing in you as well. And it's just this really cool dynamic of people helping people. And so, I really enjoy it. I mentor a 4th grade girl and, we work on reading and so on. And I just spend the whole time convincing her that I'm cool and helping her with reading. It's a lot of fun.